Gangnam Style.
Anybody remember this song? What up, what up? It's 6:31. It is November 16th. It is Thursday. Hope everyone's feeling well. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of TPLive.com. It's funny, you listen to things back in the day from you used to listen to. Not that I would ever listen to this, but this is back on the radio in the 80s. I'm dating myself. Oh, yeah. Hopefully everyone's in a good mood, getting up. It's been a good few weeks in the market. Time to figure out if we're going to pause, retrace, and you know how we figure that out? Doji style. One more time. Here it comes.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
All right. So anyway, listen, we're allowed to have a little fun, right? My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer. Did I say this already? Maybe. Teacherlive.com. Reason why we listen to a little old school Gangnam Style is because we got a little Doji style candle yesterday. You know, every weekend I put out little technicals on or candlesticks and chart patterns. What's the meaning of this? And if you look real closely, what is a doji candle? If I put the definition of a doji candle, it's a little bit of a candle that shows a little lack of indecision and also a slowdown in momentum and gives you 2 points of reference to figure out what could be next. Instead of listening to all the people on TV and everyone who plays traders on TV and, you know, we've come too far too fast and we're going here, we're going there. Guess what? This is yesterday's low, 448.81. Okay, a few things could happen today. If you look at the SPYs right now, the SPYs are actually giving you a chance. They're pretty much flat. So if people think we're going to, you know, test this gap or fill this gap, which we didn't do here and we didn't do here, okay, then what do we have to do? It's good to listen. This is very sophisticated. I've been in a think tank, you know, which is my ice barrel for thousands of hours saying, how do we go lower? You know, how do you go lower? You get below and stay below a pivot point. Oh! So if we were to get below and stay below 448.81, then you have 446. If we were going to fill this gap, we got to get below and stay below this, and then you see. Sometimes you get below it, they stop some uncommitted longs out, and then some people get short, and then all of a sudden it reclaims that level, and all of a sudden it's just sideways digestion. Okay, so basically this is the low, and then, you know, I guess if the 830 claims are really, really high and it shows the job market's really starting to cool, who knows? Maybe, you know, they'll try and get us above this 451 into this resistance zone. We talked about 451, 453 is the next resistance zone with 459 right above. Listen one more time. Everybody loves a sexy lady. Are we allowed to say that? All right. Yesterday, we also talked about the first time when you get back to a big level like the all-time highs in the Qs, usually it's a better sell than a buy at first kiss. So if you go to the Qs got up to 387.98. First time it gets up there was a better sell than a buy. It didn't fall apart, but it hit 387. Yeah, I could put this here, 387.75, and you have two little pivots to use today. If we're going to fill this gap or fill a portion of it, you know what you're going to have to do? The same simple term. Get below and stay below 384.25. Then you have 383.18, and then there's an air pocket. Sometimes you get in it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you go sideways. But after a bit of sideways work to let the 8-day catch up, chances are next time you kiss the all-time high, you probably get right through it. So you see how this gap is open? Some of these gaps were already filled yesterday. Okay, you look at Amazon. Amazon filled that gap. This was a gap that's gone, right? Remember, this gap was here. The question was, would it stay open? Gone. Okay, so now, you know, it's going to need to probably just, you know, rebuild a little bit and figure it out. And this was a leader in tech land. So the question is, does it come in more or not? You know, what do you have here? You have yesterday's low. It needs some time to rebuild a little bit. What else filled that gap? Meta. I actually sold my Meta yesterday. Sold my options on CPI day, which were great. Then I sold my Meta actually pre-market at like 339. So I'm going to be looking to see if it can go sideways. Maybe hold this 330. If it doesn't hold 330, hey, look at that. The 8-day moving average, it could hold that. But I'm going to be looking to buy this into this area. What I might do also is I might actually, if it does break 330 and the SPYs want to break yesterday's lows and the Qs want to test the gap and all these things, then, and we get to 325, I might go out a week or two and then buy options higher. So I always like to buy options the first set on a dip because they're always cheaper. Yeah. Market's usually the only thing out there when people don't like to buy it when it's on sale. But anyway, so that's 325 and that's 330. Where is Meta this morning? It's doing a whole nothing. It's actually at 332. I'm going to look at that. What's it called? Tesla, I sold yesterday into strength. People are yelling at me for selling it. You know what? That was so dumb. So with that said, 4 up days in a row. It's still a broken name, in my opinion. It's not really not broken. It's just not leading. Gave you a little inverse head and shoulders pattern. Hit a high of 246 right below this 247. So you might as well, put this here now. Get rid of this for now. This is your new pivot high. Now the question is, can you buy a dip, right? What's a dip? Well, right now it's a little bit lower. Let's see where Tesla is this morning. Tesla is down $2. So I will look at this, right? Because if this was at 246 yesterday, now it's at 240.60. Maybe it wants to go red to green. If it does, it's probably going to build a little level here. What's this low here? This is 236.45. So that's a decent setup today for cash flow. Not a rock star trade, not a maybe home run, but hey, maybe it was a 240.60. You sold some strength on day 4. We don't buy day 4. We usually sell day 4. You look to see if it could rebuild so you could buy it back. Here's this gap, from this neckline that went across. Okay, it might want to test this also. So, 236. Right now it's in a little bit of no man's land, right? It's at 240.56. It's above 236. It's, lately if you do anything in no man's land, you're going to lose. What do I mean by you're going to lose? Means like you could short into no man's land and all of a sudden it goes higher and you can't hold it and then it gets to where you should have shorted it and then it comes in and then you would have been right, or the same thing on the buy side. Bottom line is, there could be some opportunity there. Again, this is not a great, the stock's hasn't been great. It hasn't been Microsoft. It hasn't been Meta. It hasn't been Netflix. It hasn't been Amazon. It's just been a range trade, which happens at times. But anyway, so we'll see. Maybe you could buy this to go red to green today. And then maybe, again, we'll see what happens with Meta. And there's the SPYs right now doing a whole lot of nothing within the doji style candle. Small caps, woo, made me a lot of money the last few days. Okay, I did sell my IWMs into that. I did sell my 171 options into that, and now I'm sitting on a call spread. I'm long the 175s from like here, and then into that move I created a call spread, so I'm sitting in a call spread, and I'll see what type of action we have here in the small caps. Now everyone and their grandmother is talking about, buying for a catch-up trade, but meanwhile, this was awesome. Now I would think if this is going to stay relevant, it's got to hold this 175.65. So if it were to pull back to 175.65, what I'll probably do is I'll buy some options for a few weeks out, and I'll also trade it. In order to get there, what do you got to do? Ooh, look at that. You got to get below and stay below 178.11. So we'll see. Yesterday was a little loose and wide, right? What do I mean? It means like it stretched up, squeezed everybody out, and then came in. So now we'll see. Overall, what's the IWM doing this morning? The IWM down a whole 2 cents. So today's a good quiet day. So if you had a big run and you sold some premium higher, today's your day to collect premium. That's what I did. And I also reduced some risk. I have a little less risk on than I've had in a bit. So today I'll figure out, could you nibble a little bit back, or do you have to be patient? Again, how are we going to figure that out? We're not going to guess. We're going to, I know we all love it, doji style. Some of us do, some of us don't. I don't really like it doji style. Anyway, here's a 448.81, and then that's 446. In order to get to 446, it's got to get below and stay below 448.81. We might just go sideways. We'll see, and you'll measure the leaders. So next week's a big week, right, for NVDA. NVDA had a huge move, has a huge channel here, and this is exactly what you want. You want a little bit of a pullback. You want it to come into here, so this way it's not priced for crazy, crazy perfection. So if it could come into here and hold here, chances are into Tuesday we'll have a really good setup where 502 will be the major, meaning it's going to have to really beat, it's going to guide up, and if it does like a split, we might get a really good setup where you could position in some 500 or 505s or 515 calls for a move to like 550. But into this little dip, I started a little yesterday. I'm going to accumulate a little calls into weakness because they'll be cheaper. And then if it pops up before earnings, I'll create a call spread. I'm going to have some kind of call spread on for earnings. I'm not worried about missing a move to the downside if it happens. It's a big deal. It'll cost me a little bit of money. But this has been going sideways now pretty much since July, August, September, October. So for 4 months, it's been basing up here. If it disappoints, then Santa Claus is going to friggin' start drinking eggnog in the South, the North Pole, and he's not coming. If NVIDIA's down 100 points, you might as well say goodbye to the rest of the year. If it goes, I want to be a part of it. At this point, it's been a good 2-3 move in the market, and now my expectations are a little lower, and I'm going to probably have a little less risk as we try and figure out how we could do it. The oscillator is also plus 70. When you're plus 70, you don't want to just put on trades. Anyway, so you have 482 is yesterday's low, so at this point you can go like that. Does it hold above 482? Does it go red to green today? Who knows? Maybe you could buy NVIDIA. You see a relative strength divergence, meaning the SPYs come in, the Qs come in, NVIDIA doesn't go down. You buy it, it goes from red to green, you make a few $1,000s, and that's your cash flow for a Thursday. Then we can go to the Standard and have a Red Dog sandwich and 1 or 2 IPAs. No, I can't have IPAs because I said no more beer until my race. I could have a high noon, though. That's only 100 calories, and it is Thursday. But we won't do that today at lunch. Maybe. I do have a lunch meeting. I'm setting up the new town councilman with the SID, with power people from town, trying to get everyone together so everyone could work together. Wish everyone could work together in Washington. Anyway, Washington. Let's not get into that. So anyway, maybe you could buy versus 482. If it breaks 482, the 8 days down here at 475. A little sideways action, and then we'll have a better platform to maybe take out 502 if that's going to happen. I'm not going to be taking NVIDIA into earnings. I'll probably, again, have some kind of option strategy. And if it trades through it after hours and everything is friggin' awesome, you better believe I'm going to friggin' go after it after hours, not pre-print. We don't guess, because I could ruin things. Anyway, look at this Red Dog reversal. Remember that Red Dog reversal when everybody thought NVIDIA was going to go down to 366? Guess what? Active traders could change their minds. The problem with analysts is they double and triple down on their wrong call and they blow traders up. Okay, when I'm wrong, I just get stopped out. I don't get louder. Those are the most dangerous individuals out there, the ones that get louder when they're wrong because they don't want to look bad. Traders don't care about looking bad. We just want to be consistent and we want to be disciplined so we can net money and we could put it together and we could get paid at the end of the month or the quarter. Not look like whoever on TV and talk out of both sides of their mouth. Did I say that? Anyway, that's that. AMD needs a little bit of time. AMD, remember this day, remember the day that I'm like, hey, AMD's only down $1 and they lowered guidance. If it goes, we're going to make a lot of money on call spread and buy the hell out of the semis. And that happened. That was there. And now, it's a little elevated from the 8-day. I'd like to see this go a little sideways also. What's this low from yesterday? 116-ish. And here's your 8-day down here. This is 115-ish. So we'll see how that goes. Bitcoin, wow, that reclaimed that level fast. Some people are like, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin hit the target area, then it looked like it was going to falter, and then boom, it took off. Wow, pretty impressive. Came right in, held this ascending channel, and boom. So now I guess you could lower this. Well, if this Bitcoin's going to get a little bit more methodical and not as crazy, probably holds this mid area, and then at some point perhaps takes out the high here. If it takes out the high here, hey, maybe you finally get a little bit of a move in some of those, what's it called? The miners. I hate the miners. The miners only have given us a few moves in the past few years, but I would think if Bitcoin takes out this 37.9, chances are, shorts might get squeezed. So what did I do? I took a lotto call spread here. Some people like, Red Dog, you were so good with Mara and Riot and Coin here for this move to 19 and change. Why won't you touch it again? I haven't touched it since. I played Bitcoin and Bito a few times, but it looks like, if the big if Bitcoin makes a new high in the next week or two, chances are maybe they could squeeze this. That's got 35% short. So I don't like playing Mara the stock. So what did I do? I bought $11 options for this Friday, which probably won't work, and 11.5 for next Friday. So if you have a Bitcoin move into the Thanksgiving holiday, chances are maybe this could see a move towards 14-ish or somewhere in there, and those 30-40 cent calls, which risk its premium paid, will pay off nicely, and we could be thankful for that if it happens. If it doesn't, risk is premium paid, and there'll be a zero. But I'm not going to overly trade this Mara back and forth. But if it did get above this spot and the 200, there's room there. Coin actually looks, a little bit better. I made a lot of money in this coin move. What's it called here? I think I was buying it 74s, and it gave me a big squeeze before failing. So now I'm not in coin. I didn't buy options on coin, but they're starting to let this go a little bit. But anyway, it'll probably be down a little bit with Bitcoin. I'm just trying to find setups, things to do, things to make us money, things to keep us rotating. People like Red Dog, Square was a great call. Oh my God, you made me so much money. Good. Well, do I think it's over now? No. I think that we bought Square here. I sold some, bought some back, bought more options, and I sold some, created a call spread. And now I would think it could still work its way to the 200-day here. Just after 3 big days, you might need to go sideways. So after 3 big days or 4 big days, you always want to reduce your size. So this way, if it's hanging around back and forth, it's not deterring your day. And lastly, let's look at Microsoft. Everyone's like, Red Dog, Microsoft's over. Look at it lagging. Look at it lagging. Like, Microsoft was pausing at a high because it was already there. No one was in a rush to buy Microsoft. They were playing catch up in mega cap, and they wanted to buy the small caps and squeeze the shorts. And at this point, I bought a little bit of Microsoft back on the close. I did. Red Dog did. Last time I played Microsoft was in here, and I think I sold there because I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4 up days, and then I missed this move. So I'm like, what? I could buy a little bit of Microsoft, let it go sideways and hold here. It was the best stock out there in mega cap land and everywhere, and they couldn't sell the event yesterday. So it's up a little bit. I'll trim some, and if we can get above 370, 370, it could probably continue. And then that probably means the Qs and the indices aren't, falling apart. But anyway, we'll see. But if they open up Microsoft and it goes from up to and change, to red, chances are, you're going to have a weaker day because it's showing some relative strength in the morning. So anyway, at this point, hopefully you've made a lot of money and you booked it. You're flexible right here. Maybe they shake the tree. How do they do that? Again, they break the low of yesterday's doji candle, which is an indecision candle, which is a momentum slowing candle, or it goes sideways for a little bit to let the moving averages catch up. But in order to get to here, it's got to get below and stay below there. In order to get to here, right there, it's got to get above and stay above that. Simplify it, boys and girls. You don't have to be so smart. I'm not so smart. I just get up early. I just work hard. I just try and think about multiple plans and get myself prepared for the day. Hey, I appreciate you. Hopefully all is well. Next week's Thanksgiving, guys. Get excited. My mom's coming to town. Yeah. She's been fighting cancer for 2 years, and she told me that, she said, why aren't I coming for Thanksgiving? I'm like, because you've lost 60 pounds and you're having a hard time and, probably not a good idea. She's like, well, I'm coming with Dad. Okay, come, So she's coming. Hopefully it goes all right. Anyway, be thankful for what you have and don't look at others. It doesn't do anything for you. Later, guys.